Yeah.
Yeah, so this is just a casual reading of, starting, I guess, at Exodus 21. We don't know how far we're going to get, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it starts off, if you buy a Hebrew servant, he is to serve you for 6 years, but in the 7th year he shall go free without paying anything. If he comes alone, he is to go free alone. But if he has a wife when he comes, she is to go with him. If his master gives him a wife and she bears him sons or daughters, the woman and her children shall belong to her master, and only the man shall go free. Wow, that's countercultural to what we would think of now, even in a world where slavery is much more popular now than it was even during the American slave trade. There's more slaves in the world right now than there were back then.
Slaves? What do you mean?
Like the child slavery, people working streets, and third world countries mostly, but even child trafficking, prostitution, all that kind of crazy stuff. But this says that if the master gives the slave a wife, even if the wife has sons or daughters, the woman and her children belong to the master, but the man can go free. That's pretty shocking. I mean, that's shocking beyond slavery shocking to me.
Well, they want the wife and the kids because they want them to work.
Correct. Yeah.
But the man is free because, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we know in the New Testament when they talk about slaves, it's more of an indentured employee servant type thing. But here, I mean, it's truly slavery, the way we think about it. So, anyway, but if the servant declares, "I love my master and my wife and children, and do not want to go free,"
What?
then his master must take him before the judges. He shall take him to the door or the doorpost and pierce his ear with an awl. Then he will be his servant for life. So in other words, let's say the master treats his slaves really well, right? I mean, these people, their culture was slavery. They didn't think of it with the evil intent necessarily that we see it today. And so let's say this person doesn't want their freedom. Like, I'm happy here. I love it here.
That's not true. They were slaves in Egypt.
Well, some of them, yeah. But
tortured, beaten.
that is true. That is true.
Yeah, I guess there are the bad and the good and the ugly, always.
This is painting a picture of a slave who doesn't want to leave because the master treats them well, or they, for whatever reason, doesn't want to leave. So now they get their ear, basically a gauge put in their ear, an awl, a hole put through their ear, and that indicates that they'll never to be set free from that master. That's interesting.
Until the master dies.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I wonder if there was inheritance of slaves, like down to the children. If a man sells his daughter as a servant, he is not to go free as male servants do. Oh, she is not to go free as male servants do. If she does not please the master who has selected her for himself, he must let her be redeemed. He has no right to sell her to foreigners because he has broken faith with her. If he selects her for his son, he must grant her the rights of a daughter. If he marries another woman, he must not deprive the first one of her food, clothing, and marital rights. If he does not provide her with these 3 things, she is to go free without any payment of money. So I think that's indicating that actually the slave girl is like a sexual slave.
No, he says she marries her. So if they're married, she becomes a wife. But he's saying if he gets another wife, he still has to take care of her. No?
If she does not please the master who has selected her for himself.
Yeah, and if he marries another woman, he must not deprive the first one. So it's almost like you still owe her stuff because she was your wife. You married her.
It'd be interesting to do a deeper study on that someday.
I'm not that interested.
Yeah. Anyone who strikes...
I don't like slavery. So
no, it's a horrible thing.
It just got a bad thing. I don't care if they're being nice or not. I think no one should be against their will. I think it should be no one should be held against their will.
I agree. Anyone who strikes a person with a fatal blow is to be put to death. However, if it is not done intentionally, but God lets it happen, which, by the way, is a perspective thing that Moses is saying there. They are to flee to a place I will designate. But if anyone schemes and kills someone deliberately, that person is to be taken from my altar and put to death. Yeah, so I just think it's worth mentioning the part where it says where God lets it happen. God tells us not to do stupid things, but we have free will.
I
So
have to do my timer.
sure.
Yeah, but he's doing this with the people that he chose to be judges. So it's not, I don't think God's involved in here yet.
Well, it says right here, if
Oh.
God lets it happen.
Okay.
So I'm saying it's not actually, God lets it happen by giving us free will, not by saying, I think I'm going to let a tornado rip through that neighborhood tomorrow and do X, Y, Z. It doesn't work that way. Anyone who attacks their father or mother is to be put to death. You hear that, kids? Anyone who kidnaps someone is to be put to death, whether the victim has been sold or is still in the kidnapper's possession.
Well, they have the word kidnapper.
Yep. Anyone who curses their father or mother is to be put to death. You hear that, kids? I'm kidding. My kids are pretty awesome. If people quarrel and one person hits another with a stone or with their fist, and the victim does not die but is confined to bed, paralyzed maybe, the one who struck the blow will not be held liable if the other can get up and walk around outside with a staff. However, the guilty party must pay the injured person for any loss of time and see that the victim is completely healed. So not paralyzed, just they're injured bad enough that it's not just a fight and they move on. And anyone who beats their male or female slave with a rod must be punished if the slave dies as a direct result. But they are not to be punished if the slave recovers after a day or two, since the slave is their property.
Wow.
Man, it rubs me so wrong. If people are fighting and hit a pregnant woman,
What?
and she
Wow.
gives birth prematurely, but there is no serious injury, the offender must be fined whatever the woman's husband demands and the court allows. We know somebody that sort of happened to. I'm not going to say details, but yeah, there was a fight and somebody was born premature.
Oh.
I mean, it's
Yeah, but the woman wasn't struck.
Oh, I know, but yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Wow.
But if there is serious injury, you are to take life for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot, burn for burn, wound for wound, bruise for bruise. So this is interesting because people use this today and they say, well, you have to keep things balanced out. If you're going to cause violence to us, I'm going to cause violence to you. But Jesus came and he said,
It's not
better to
right.
be struck on one cheek and turn the other. We're building up a reward in heaven.
Yeah, but this is Moses saying this in his judges. Remember, he was supposed to find judges to help him manage the people. He got the advice from somebody else. I don't
But
think.
the Lord said to Moses, if you go all the way back to chapter 20, it's God actually giving these.
Really?
Yeah. So it's, the man demanded sort of this.
They wanted rules to live by, I guess.
Yeah. And so this is what happens when you screw up and God has to come down and fix things. He has to set up, the repercussions for our mistakes.
Well, he changes that because he said you heard it said an eye for an eye, but it's not like that no more.
Yeah. And it's not a contradiction, it's a fulfillment. Oh.
Yeah.
Excuse me, or a reconciliation. I heard today something that was really cool. I think it's actually a Gandhi quote. He said, when you do eye for eye, you just wind up with two blind people. And that doesn't actually fix anything.
Of course not.
Well, sorry. I never heard that before.
Well,
I don't know. You said, of course not. I felt bad that you already knew it.
oh, I saw that on social media.
Social
But no,
media.
I'm just saying, if I take out your eye, you take out mine. Now we're both
This is true.
we're both not gonna get nowhere.
This is true, but I learned not to take out the next person's eye, otherwise I'll have no eyes.
Oh God. Okay. Let's not talk
I'm
about
going to just
that.
yank out their tongue
We're gonna
instead.
stop this. This is weird.
Maybe. An owner who hits a male or female slave in the eye and destroys it must let the slave go free to compensate for the eye. And an owner who knocks out the tooth of a male, male or female slave must let the slave go free to compensate for the tooth. So losing a tooth or losing an eye, they're considered
The same thing.
enough.
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Well, teeth were much more important back then. They didn't have dentists. Once you lost all your teeth, you pretty much died. Couldn't eat.
I eat. Smush everything.
You put it in a blender.
Well, there's no blender back then. You had to snap in a mortar thing like Ghana.
That's true. Mortar and pestle.
Make fufu. I'm just kidding. I
Ooh.
don't even know what fufu is.
cassava. And,
Is that what fufu is?
yeah, I think so. A little corn. Depends. I was just looking at it recently. We have like 2 million views on a video of how to make fufu, and I don't even know what the ingredients are. All
We
right.
don't know what the ingredients are.
I know it's a starchy stuff. How's that?
Why didn't you ask?
No, I could watch the video and learn. I just forgot.
Oh, that's funny.
I think it's sometimes cassava. I think it's sometimes corn, and I think it's mostly cassava though, or yam or something.
Wow.
Yep. All right.
I don't
So
like this chapter.
that's okay. We'll be done with it soon. Wait till we get to Lamentations. You'll be so excited.
No.
If
let's
a
skip that
bull
one.
gores a man or a woman to death, the bull is to be stoned to death. Ooh. And its meat must not be eaten. Boo. But the owner of the bull will not be held responsible. If, however, the bull has had the habit of goring, and the owner has been warned, but it has not kept it penned up, and it kills a man or a woman, the bull is to be stoned, and its owner is also to be put to death.
Wow. This.
Yeah, loose dogs. I wonder if we could. Anyway. However, if payment.
I was thinking the same.
I know.
They've been worn like 1,000 times.
Yep. However, if payment is demanded, the owner may redeem his life by the payment of whatever is demanded. So you could actually have grace and say, all right, I don't need you to die. Just give me $4.74 or $2 million or whatever, and you can buy yourself out of this.
Wow.
I wonder if that's where the whole idea of buying indulgences came from in the Catholic Church.
I don't know.
Anyway, this law also applies if the bull gores a son or daughter. If the bull gores a male or female slave, the owner must pay 30 shekels of silver to the master of the slave, and the bull is to be stoned to death. So that's, again, lower value for those human beings who are slaves than regular
say
members
that?
of society. Yeah.
What was
Well, if
the
it kills
funny-
anybody else, the bull and the person has to be killed. But here it just says 30 shekels of silver.
No, but I thought he said, or you could demand for money.
Well, that was for, well, you know something, actually.
Yeah.
This is the same. They're just saying it's the same punishment for the bull, but it's 30 shekels of silver because the person actually lost property. The slave.
Yeah, but look, it says the shekels of silver, pay 30 shekels of silver to the master of the slave.
And
Oh.
the bull is to be stoned to death.
Well,
So I wonder
back then a slave was considered lower than a regular person anyway, because they're property.
yeah.
What I'm trying to say is,
I just want to tell you that you own my heart, so I'm property. All right. So anyway,
where did that come from?
it's where anywhere. I don't know.
Do you like my hair?
Sure.
I was doing a weird hairstyle. That's why I'm like, where did that come
Well, you
from?
can't see that on the video. I'm just recording a window, so.
You don't see my weird hair.
Oh, I can see your hair. You want to see your hair? I'm gonna turn the camera.
No,
Yeah,
they
see.
probably can see it through the window. Actually, okay,
Oops.
keep
You see
going.
me? You can see my arms. Anyway, if anyone covers a pit or digs one and fails to cover it, and an ox or a donkey falls into it, the one who opened the pit must pay the owner for the loss and take the dead animal in exchange. Hi, Jilly.
She's wondering why you're recording the reading.
Because we're doing a casual reading from the Book of Exodus. Would you like to join our commentary?
No, I'm hungry. I haven't eaten all day.
Well, go ahead, eat. Just don't
Please
use the
tell me
ice
that you're
maker.
kidding. Why wouldn't you eat?
I haven't been hungry.
Wait, you guys didn't go to eat at all? None of you
They
guys.
did, but I didn't get anything.
Man,
All I had today was a milkshake and a fig bar.
I think this is great. Why are you talking like a 5-year-old little girl?
What is going on here?
Do you hear her?
Then she made me.
Do you hear
She
her?
is being mean.
But do you hear
I'm
her?
proud of you for being mean. You should buy her for 30 shekels.
She's mine. I own
I'm
her.
recording this, you know.
I own her.
I'm
It's
hungry.
going on YouTube as soon as
No,
this
it's
is
not.
over.
Listen to me.
Ah, don't bang.
No, it's not going on
We have
YouTube.
salsa.
Don't hit me.
There's chips and salsa somewhere. Keep reading.
All right.
That's not food.
I just want a snack. I'm not hungry.
So if the animal falls in a pit, they have to pay for it, but they get the dead animal in exchange. If anyone's bull injures someone else's bull and it dies, the two parties are to sell the live one and divide both the money and the dead animal equally. However, if it was known that the bull had a habit of goring, yet the owner did not keep it penned up, the owner must pay animal for animal and take the dead animal in exchange.
Oh, great.
Just-
Please keep out of this chapter.
Yep. Whoever steals...
Ooh, social responsibility. I'm
Yeah,
curious
we're-
about that.
We're getting there. Whoever steals an ox or a sheep and slaughters it or sells it must pay back 5 head of cattle for the ox and 4 sheep for the sheep. If a thief is caught breaking in at night and is struck a fatal blow, the defender is not guilty of bloodshed. But if it happens after sunrise, the defender is guilty of bloodshed.
Why?
I don't know. Maybe because
Wait,
you could
if
see.
you could see him, if you could see him, even he's robbing your house.
Maybe because if somebody comes in after sunrise, it was not meant to be murderous or rape or whatever. They're just sneaking around. I don't know.
That don't make no sense right
I
there.
guess
but-
I'll try the medium one if it's hot.
Okay, enjoy.
I bought you the other kind, Tostitos.
Where?
It's probably downstairs in basement.
Tostitos can be found in aisle 7.
Both?
What do you mean both?
I have bought 2 bottles.
Where?
Right next to the
No, it won't be on the
cheesy
shelf there. It's
sauce.
probably downstairs and back. I don't know where it's at. It might be in my car. I have no idea.
Go find it!
Yeah. Welcome to our casual
What do we read
reading.
about children? I'm just kidding.
This is a casual reading from the book of Exodus.
You're deleting that immediately.
Sure. Hey, don't even touch my camera.
Wait, I just want to see my finger. Oh, the finger's this way. You can't
Yes.
see my finger.
Why did you hit me?
Ow! Why did
Hey!
you do that?
That's mean.
You have something growing here.
Oh, thanks.
Probably didn't know that. I got one here.
Anyone who steals must certainly make restitution. Wonder if that applies to looting. Anyway, but if they have nothing, they must be sold to pay for their theft, so they become a slave. Wow, that's troubling.
Wait, read it again. She's distracting me.
Yeah, I know.
She's giving me dirty looks.
Okay, stop talking out loud then. Anyone who steals must make certain restitution. So they have to must
Pay
certainly make restitution. They got to pay back,
Okay.
right? So I said under my breath, I wonder if that applies to looting. But then it said, but if they have nothing, which a lot of people claim they have, nothing, they must be sold or become slaves to pay for their theft.
What?
Yeah, so imagine if the looters today have
Wait,
nothing.
they must be sold?
Yeah, the person is sold.
No, not the stuff they sold.
No, they must be sold.
Wait, anyone who steals must certainly make restitution. But if they have nothing, they must be sold to pay for their theft. If the stolen animal is found alive in their possession, your ox or donkey or sheep, they must pay back double? Wait, I'm confused. If it's found in the possession,
Yeah.
they got to pay back double?
Yes, they have to make restitution. They have to pay back. If they can't afford to pay back, they become a slave in order to pay back. And if the animal's found, whether it's an ox or a donkey or sheep or whatever, they have to pay back double anyway.
That's crazy.
Well, it's punishment, right? You reap what you sow. I'm going to wait for my daughter to stop making ice.
But she's being
In
mean,
my
so I'm not
soda
giving
cup.
it. I'm not giving you that.
Why?
Because you're mean.
If anyone
Fold the
grazes...
clothes in the laundry if you want it.
No.
If anyone grazes their livestock in a field or a vineyard, that's weird. If anyone grazes their livestock in a field or a vineyard and lets them stray and they graze in someone else's field, the offender must make restitution from the best of their own field or vineyard. If a fire breaks out and spreads into thorn bushes so that it burns shocks of grain or standing grain or the whole field, the one who started the fire must make restitution. My wife's pointing at me because I almost burned down the field behind our house today.
That's not
Leave my phone alone.
today.
Yeah, with the burn barrel out back.
That's not what I'm talking about. You didn't burn anything today.
No, nothing lit on fire, thank God.
You don't know what I'm talking about.
Talk about previously.
No, let's not,
Oh, all right.
It exploded.
What?
If anyone gives a neighbor silver or goods for safekeeping, and they are stolen from the neighbor's house, the thief, if caught, must pay back double. But if the thief is not found, the owner of the house must appear before the judges and they must determine whether the owner of the house has laid hands on the other person's property. In all cases of illegal possession of an ox, a donkey, a sheep, a garment, or any other lost property about which somebody says, "This is mine," both parties are to bring their cases before the judges. The one whom the judge declares guilty must pay back double to the other. There's going to be a lot of crunching now because my daughter decided to sit 16 inches away from the video camera
I have to ask
and
you a
eat
question.
chips and Zelza.
I have to ask you a question.
What's that?
How was it determined back then who were the slaves and who were the people who owned the slaves? Where did the slaves come from if they were all Jewish people? Like, we all
Egyptians.
started from... Yeah, I'm just very confused how other people came into it. Oh, well, there's Ethiopia and there's other people the Bible talks about, right? But I'm just saying, we all came from Adam and Eve.
Mm-hmm. Society split apart after
The
Babel.
Tower of Babel.
It also split apart with Abraham, with the two sons.
But what made them
Noah.
how did we become where you're a slave and I'm not, and I own the slave?
I guess
We're all started the same, is what I'm saying.
all started the same. And
The
then,
devil changed people to be slaves.
No, you didn't change people. You mean evil inflicted upon people, maybe. I don't know. It's just sad.
there was
kind of.
ownership of land and property and all that, and then it became necessary to
But I
have
wonder.
help, and then the help got into debt, and then the debt caused them to be slaves, maybe?
Well, that's what I'm wondering. I'm wondering if a person sold themselves for work.
Maybe slaves is just based on their financial status.
No, like for example, if I'm a young person and I can't afford, but I'm old and I'm not married, so I'm like, you know what, I gotta get a job as a slave now.
I'll go live in your house.
Maybe it's not technically slave. Maybe it's just like poor and wealthy. The poor worked for the wealthy.
I
and
would
they
have
called it
said that.
slaves.
I would have said that, but we read earlier that they
No.
actually owned them and sold them, and if they died or they took an eye out, then they had
Yeah.
to.
So it's kind of weird. But I'm just saying, maybe it's like
They
a,
got the farms.
maybe
they,
the slave is
take
not
care of
what
them.
we thought, because it said
Oh,
it said if they wanted to stay with their slave masters.
I think
it's
I'm
a
right.
choice.
She's not.
I can't hold two
this is
conversations
weird.
at once. And you
We
both
gotta
talk about
figure
it.
it out.
So I'm gonna continue reading.
I don't
That's
want
what
to
I'm
read
gonna
this stuff right now.
Well, we're not at the end of the chapter, so you
Okay.
don't have much of a choice.
Yeah.
Tell me when we get to 23. By the
You don't
way,
want them, right? I'm gonna put them on my phone.
I don't even know what that means. Can we do this first, please?
Okay. Well, she won't fold clothes, and she don't want to do any chores, and she wants me to give her.
I
It's
would
not
like
my
to finish this
job.
before we move on to something else. We're totally distracting from our
Okay.
what we're doing
Sorry.
here.
Sorry.
All right.
Look like you're about to have an aneurysm.
Well, I'd like to go to bed soon, and you're wasting my
I'm
time
sorry.
talking about
The
Apple iPhone cards.
The face that you gave me, you were like, "Look, I can see. Oh my God, it's getting red. It's getting red on top. It was not red. It was not." Wait, hold on a minute.
And this is why I can never have a quiet time in my
Okay.
house.
Oh, would you stop? I just have to show you
I'm
how you're
participating.
turning red.
Good.
What's
Can
the
we finish
problem?
reading,
All right,
please?
I'm participating.
All right, she's
I
listening.
know. I'm very happy,
Let's
but
go.
Mom won't let me continue.
Continue.
Rude. Telling me you don't want me here
No, I
crunching on my chips.
I didn't say that. I said
Yeah,
you
he
were
did.
here
Didn't he
crunching
say?
on your chips. If anyone gives a donkey, an ox, a sheep, or any other animal to a neighbor for safekeeping, and it dies, or is injured, or is taken away while no one is looking, which I believe is stolen, the issue between them will be settled by the taking of an oath before the Lord that the neighbor did not lay hands or personally steal the other person's property. The owner is to accept this, and no restitution is required. But if the animal was stolen from the neighbor, restitution must be made to the owner. If it was torn to pieces by a wild animal, the neighbor shall bring in the remains as evidence and shall not be required to pay for the torn animal. If anyone borrows an animal from their neighbor and it is injured or dies while the owner is not present, they must make restitution. But if the owner is with the animal, the borrower will not have to pay. If the animal was hired, the money paid for the hire covers the loss. Tell me when we're at chapter 23. Okay.
Oh, we got a wow.
Okay. If a man seduces a
Oh, this is social responsibility. I wanted to read this.
Okay. If a man seduces a virgin who is not pledged to be married and sleeps with her, he must pay the bride price, which is a dowry, by the way, today.
Okay.
That still happens over in other, like in Ghana, you pay when you get married to the family of the wife, the girl. It's a modern
You
day
have to pay
thing.
her?
No, you pay her father.
Oh, God. Keep
So
reading.
I guarantee you, when one of our volunteers over there got married to their wife, they had to come up with something to give the father of the girl that they were marrying.
Yeah, but it could be food. It
Yeah,
could
to
be-
give. In 90 Day Fiance, the woman had to bring a goat to the Nigerian guy's mom
Yeah.
to
A
get the
goat.
approval of marriage.
And she got the approval.
It had to be a clean, healthy looking goat,
She
or
got the
else the
approval?
mother wouldn't.
She got the
At first,
approval?
no.
What is this scripture that you refer to?
90 Day Fiance.
A 90 Day Fiance.
Did you hear what she said? I said, did she get the approval?
'Cause she's
she
white.
said no.
Because she's a white woman.
Because she's white.
The mom says she didn't approve because she was the woman's 20 years older than the guy. She said, she's my age. You shouldn't be marrying an old white woman. She's going to take you to be a slave.
Oh,
And now the woman's stuck with a goat that she bought to give to the family.
Well, they keep the goat and kill it.
let me take the goat. I reject you.
Basically.
All right, next time we go over to Africa,
I
we're gonna have
can't,
to
I
ask in
can't.
the village
I can't right
how
now.
they do it in Ghana, because I know they do dowry over there.
I
In
can't right now.
Nigeria, it's a goat.
Well, just ask.
Do you
Did
bring
the
a
guy
goat?
just get married?
Yeah, I can ask on WhatsApp, but I want to hear it in person. I want to see the facial expressions of our volunteers.
No, they might be surprised at your facial expressions.
Oh, I'll tell my story.
Hi, she
Okay.
has to wash my feet and.
All right, let me
You'd be like-
come on. We just started reading about virgins. Let me continue here, okay? He must pay the bride price, and shall be his wife.
Oh wait, stop a minute.
Oh,
This was towards virgin. That man was not a virgin.
what man in her thing? I couldn't care less what was on
He was
TV.
like a gigolo. He was not a virgin.
I wouldn't know. I never saw it.
He said she got woman parts, I got men parts. It works. That's it.
His mom didn't know, though. His parents
Okay,
thought he was
okay.
a virgin.
This is like
Back to the
reality
Bible.
TV.
Back to the Bible,
reading.
yes.
All right. If her father absolutely refuses, what do they mean by man parts? Anyway, if her father absolutely refuses to give her to him, he must still pay the bride price for virgins, because he ruins her. He soils her, if you will, for someone else.
Wait, what?
So
No, but he said no, he didn't give
he's
them to her.
That's correct, but he still has to pay, because now she's not a virgin. She's not going to be desirable for most other men.
No, but he didn't sleep with her.
No,
He said
he
refuse-
sleeps with her, but the father refuses to give her to the man anyway.
But aren't you supposed to give her to the man first and then sleep with her?
Yeah, it's saying if a man seduces a virgin
Oh,
who's...
seduces. Okay,
Correct.
I'm sorry. I forgot about that.
yeah,
okay.
so he basically stole her virginity and has to pay for it.
Yes. Okay.
Do
That's
not...
not the definition of seduce.
Great. Do not allow a sorceress to live. Anyone who has sexual relations with an animal is to be put to death. Whoever sacrifices to any god other than the Lord must be destroyed.
Ooh,
Do
wow.
not mistreat or oppress a foreigner, for you were foreigners
Stop.
in Egypt.
Stop. This is why probably the Jewish people get upset with the Christian people, because it says whoever sacrifices to any other god must be destroyed. So us, believing in Jesus as God is like blasphemy.
Mm-hmm.
We should be destroyed according to them, but they're not destroying people. You know
Correct.
what I mean? But wow.
Mm-hmm.
But we're disgust to them probably.
Yep.
Okay.
Do not take advantage of the widow or the fatherless. If you do, and they cry out to me, I will certainly hear their cry. My anger will be aroused, and I will kill you with the sword. Your wives will become widows, and your children fatherless.
This is Moses saying this.
This is God saying
I mean
this.
Noah saying this.
God. Noah. We're
I
talking
mean-
about Moses, and this is God.
You think I don't pay
No, it's
attention?
because I was reading about Noah in the other book. I'm sorry. Wait, it's not God. It said the Lord told him. He's relaying the message. He didn't say this is the words of the Lord. Where's that at?
Chapter 20, Then the Lord says to
20. I don't
Moses,
remember 20.
tell the Israelites this.
You better go wash your hands.
I will.
It says right here, tell the Israelites this, you have seen for yourself that I have spoken to you from heaven. And he
Okay.
starts, this is a continuation. If you lend money to one of...
You just put your hand in there after you licked this thing.
I just washed it.
Jaylene, don't you lie to me. Joe, don't eat her chips. She's licked it.
What?
She put her finger in there.
She didn't. She washed it.
What?
She
Do you
didn't.
act like this in front of your friends?
What friends?
I really want
Len?
to go to bed soon, Connie.
Okay. We're almost to 23.
Hold on, I need more water.
If you lend money to one of my people among you who is needy, do not treat it like a business deal. Charge no interest. I find that interesting because that's New Testament-ish, where they say if you loan somebody money, don't expect to get it back. Just give it as a gift type thing.
Yeah.
If you take your neighbor's cloak as a pledge, return it by sunset, because that cloak is the only covering your neighbor has. How does he know that? How does he know they don't have multiple? I guess everybody only had one cloak. What else can they sleep in? When they cry out to me, I will hear, for I am compassionate. Do not blaspheme God or curse the ruler of your people. That's an important line for politics today. It's too bad this is 3,000 years ago. Do not hold back offerings from your granaries or your vats. That's talking about offerings to the, for us, offerings to the church and stuff like that, right? So if you have a full bank account or you have stuff in your home or business, that can be helpful. And to other people, right? Have everything in common. You must give me the firstborn of your sons. Do the same with your cattle and your sheep. Let them stay with their mothers for 7 days, but give them to me on the 8th day.
Wait, I'm confused.
That's when they circumcised boys
Oh,
on the
okay.
8th day and stuff like
Oh,
that.
really?
It's a dedication thing.
They threw Joseph the next day. They didn't wait 8 days. We're supposed to wait till the 8th day?
If we're Jewish,
Wow.
I dare someone watching this right now to call my son and ask him.
Wait, what do you mean?
Yeah, you
this
let
is
go of
not
my-
live.
Yeah, no.
Joe, you are not going to share this on YouTube. I'm telling you right now.
Please don't. I literally farted right there at the fridge.
And now you say what you did. We didn't even hear it. Now you say
It was loud. I don't know how you didn't hear it.
she just confessed.
It says reality TV Bible
She
reading.
just confessed to farting.
Ew. Pig. Literally.
What? Oh, now you're definitely not getting these. I don't care how much
You
you
are
brag.
to be my holy people. Can you guys take that advice?
Huh?
Great.
Wait, are you done?
I don't know. You tell me where 23 starts. I have a Bible
Do
with no
not
verses.
spread false reports.
Okay, that's next.
That's for Jalen.
You are to
for
be
sure.
my holy people, so do not eat the meat of an animal torn by wild beasts. Throw it to the dogs.
Ooh, so we
Yep.
can't eat like
Roadkill?
roadkill.
Can't
Then.
eat- well, no, because that's not. Well, I guess maybe a car is a wild beast, but yeah, that's the basics. Is what it's saying. Is if you have a cow or a goat or anything
got
out in the
killed.
field and wolves attack it or a bear
can't
or
eat that.
whatever, you can't go there and salvage the meat.
Ew.
Well, it's to protect them from sickness.
It's kind of disgusting anyway. I wouldn't do it
I
anyway.
agree.
Do not spread false reports. Do
Yeah,
not
that's the
help
next
a guilty.
chapter. We're not
do
reading that.
not help a guilty person by being malicious witness. That needs to be spread today. You know how many people
Are
do
we
that?
reading chapter 23?
No, but it's getting interesting.
Right, I'm going to
oh, we're going into the so next is laws and justice of mercy.
All right, so
Santa
everybody,
Claus.
I want to
No,
encourage
everybody,
you.
you better
Excuse me,
keep that
please.
up.
I want to encourage you. Get closer to Jesus. Ask Him to invade every private space of your life, every public space of your life. Let the Holy Spirit invade your life. I guarantee it'll be worth it. The more you get to Him, I promise you, the more you get back in this life and the next. Not a prosperity gospel. I'm talking about peace. I'm talking about direction, purpose in life, the power of the Holy Spirit on you, and the authority to use it. God bless. See ya.